What is up, party people? It's your boy Justin Langlois, Sterling Investment Advisors, and I went down the old nerd vortex once again, just so you don't have to. I know you guys are busy, you're partying, you're hanging out on the weekends with all your friends and family. I am toiling away, so you don't have to. Unless you've lived under a rock or like you've been hiding out in a cave for the last few years, you would know about this $300 billion that they claim is just sitting on the sidelines. This war chest of money. Some people call it dry powder. And question that a lot of people have is, why hasn't it been deployed, and when will it get deployed? So like I said, I went through some crazy sites on the internet. They were all PG, nothing nasty. And what I found out was that there's just as many reasons why it hasn't been deployed as there are reasons why some of it is slowly coming out and getting deployed. The first is there hadn't been a compelling enough argument or story with a lot of properties. So today there are fewer properties on market than there were 2.5 or 3 years ago. The vast majority of properties that are on market right now are single tenant net lease deals, probably a few multi-tenant deals. But those are 4.5 to like 6.5, 7.5% cap rates. You're going to go out and borrow money between 7.5 and 8% right now, and you buy something at 6, borrowing at 7.5. Bingo, you got negative leverage. So the question I had for a lot of my friends, a lot of people that are in the industry is negative leverage enough? Is it enough of a nasty thing that would just prevent people from buying assets? Could it be like the number one reason why people aren't deploying cash? And ultimately, everyone I spoke to said no. It's not just negative leverage. It's got to be negative leverage coupled with something, some other barrier. So right now, compelling properties have a number of reasons why they're transacting. One, it could be a seller that has to sell. It could be somebody that's got a partnership that's dissolving. It could be somebody that's kind of in the middle of an exchange and they're selling this asset and so that they can go buy something that might be a little bit better than what they currently have. It could be that somebody just wants to tap into the equity. You may, over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, like, people have created a tremendous amount of equity in their property. So that's compelling if you're a seller. If you're a buyer, what might make it compelling to buy something right now is there is a value creation story in this deal. Maybe you improve the tenants over the next few years. Perhaps you've got a rent roll that's going to increase over the next 5 to 6 years. Maybe you don't like beat yourself up every night because interest rates are at 7, 8%, and you know in 12 to 18 months that interest rates are going to come down. So I don't have a crystal ball, but I do have some friends that are just straight nerds, and they work at places like the Federal Open Market Committee, and they dot plan interest rates 12, 18, 24 months in advance. These dudes ain't doing anything on a Friday night. They're not out clubbing, they're not partying, but I tell you what they are doing. They're dot planning so that you can make gobs of money in the future. I think the overarching issue, or the overall, like the biggest issue that we have right now, is there's still this gap, this bid-ask gap. I've called it a big-ass gap for several months before I realized what it was really called. And while it's not the Grand Canyon that it was when we started, it's still a 50-foot gully. And you've got like a 15-foot stick that you're trying to vault across this thing right now. Some of you will make it, others won't. Don't get deterred. It's going to get better. Interest rates are going to come down. I do see some cap rates increasing. And I see that there are some deals out there where value can be created. So you got any other brain busters, anything else you want me to talk about, anything that's just keeping you up at night, let me know. Peace.